for Assalamu alaikum and welcome. Welcome to all our viewers who have tuned in to Question Time on Islam live from the Ahlebait studios here in London with your host Naveed Hussain. Alhamdulillah, it's been a very, very long time since we've had our live show of Question Time on Islam. Gives us great pleasure and honor to have our Islamic scholar Syed Musawi with us again this evening to answer any questions, any concerns, any comments that you may have about not just the religion of Islam, but about things that are going on around the world. Inshallah, our Islamic scholar Syed Musawi will do his utmost best to answer any questions or any comments that you may have. Sayyidina, a very good evening to you and assalamu wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May Allah bless you and all our brothers and sisters who are with us this evening. May Allah enlighten our hearts with more love for Allah and the Prophet and Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. May Allah keep our heart clean and pure, that we only love what Allah loves, and we should be away from what Allah does not like. This is a very important point in the life of every believer. The hadith says the fruit of faith are to love for the sake of Allah and dislike for the sake of Allah, and give for the sake of Allah and not give for the sake of Allah. Our love should be for the sake of Allah, and if we dislike something, it should not be but only for the sake of Allah. For example, nowadays some people are claiming or supporting or promoting certain sexual orientation, which is according to them good. But when you read what Allah said in Quran and in Bible and in Torah, you will find that it is not permissible at all, and it is damaging life if people adopt it. So our love, our liking or disliking should be always for the sake of Allah. We like everything which Allah likes, and we dislike everything which Allah does not like. That is an important criteria for the real believer. We don't base our stand on our own opinion. Those who ignore or forget about Allah, they claim that my opinion that this is good and my opinion is that is not good. Who are we to have an opinion in front of our Creator? What is our amount of knowledge in front of Allah who knows everything? So it is nothing but ignorance to give our opinion and ignore the guidance, the orders, the teachings of the Creator of life and universe, Allah the Exalted. So we pray to Allah to keep our liking, disliking, giving, not giving, always for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Thank you very much indeed, Sayyid. So, as you know, it's been a very blessed occasion, especially this last week and up until regarding the Milad-un-Nabi and the Viladat of the sixth Imam. You know, can you just comment on those who say that it's bid'at to celebrate like a birthday of the Prophet, and things like that. What is recommended during these days? I mean, how important is Milad-un-Nabi and the birth of the sixth Imam? Can you shed light upon this, please?
We should first make a point that all Muslims, since the beginning of Islam till today, even before Islam, all the previous prophets, all of them celebrated the birth anniversary of the great prophets before them. Even in Quran, you read about Yahya alayhi salam, the prophet, son of Zakaria, وسلام عليه يوم ولد ويوم يموت ويوم يبعث حيا. Peace upon him when he was born and when he died and when he will be resurrected. So the anniversary of the birth of the Prophet is being mentioned in Quran as a day of salutation and sending peace upon them. So when we remember the Prophet of Islam, the most beloved servant of Allah, and we pay our respect and remember him and take an arrow of light from his tremendous light, it is something not only permissible but also very much recommended, because it makes us more near to him and more close to following his teachings. In the beginning till now, all Muslims celebrated the birth anniversary of the Prophet. The first person who objected on that was Ibn Taymiyyah. Ibn Taymiyyah. And then the followers of Ibn Taymiyyah, who are the Wahhabis, are repeating the same claim. But majority of Muslims, I can say, majority of Sunni Muslims and all Shia Muslims always celebrated and celebrate the birth anniversary of the Prophet. So the claim of the Wahhabis is being refuted by Sunni ulama. About the responsibility of Muslims when they celebrate the birth anniversary. Number one, we should not be like non-Muslims who celebrate the birth anniversary of their figures, but they don't care to follow the teachings of their figures. For example, now you find in Christmas, many Christians celebrate Christmas, but they do things which are not permitted at all by Jesus Christ himself. So we Muslims should celebrate in a way which respects and follows the teachings of the Prophet of Islam. That is the real respect. It is not only to take the name of the Prophet as a slogan. No, that is not enough at all. Because in Islam, the criteria is not only to take the name, but it is the following. In Quran, Allah says, قُلْ إِن كُنْتُمْ تُحِبُّونَ اللَّهَ فَاتَّبِعُونِي. Tell people, oh messenger, if you really love Allah, if you really like Allah, then you must follow me. So the criteria is following the teachings of the Prophet. Muslims who are celebrating the birth anniversary should try their best to make their life according to the teachings of the Prophet. Practically, their worshipping, their dealing, their behavior, their family life, their private life, their social life, their economic life, they should be real followers of the Prophet. This is required, and not only to take the name, not only to shout or to sing. No, it is to practice. Yes, we show our respect by different ways, but the main point is to follow the Prophet, to promote our life to be more near to the implementation of the teachings of the Prophet of Islam. Same also by celebrating the birth anniversary of Imam Ja'far as-Sadiq alayhi salam. And we should not forget that Imam Ja'far as-Sadiq alayhi salam was the person who could spread the knowledge of Islam and the teachings of the Prophet more than anyone else before him or after him. In the whole history of Islam, from the time of the Prophet till today, we don't have a personality who could spread the knowledge of Islam like Imam Ja'far as-Sadiq alayhi salam. There are many reasons, but the result is that Imam Ja'far as-Sadiq taught thousands of people. One of the Sunni scholars by the name of Al-Washa. Al-Washa said, I entered the masjid of Kufa and I saw in the masjid of Kufa 900 scholars. All of them said, I was being taught by Ja'far ibn Muhammad as-Sadiq. Imagine, he taught, he was teaching, and his students are the scholars of that time. Imam Ja'far as-Sadiq alayhi salam is the greatest scholar. Of course, we mean by scholar here, not like other scholars, because all our 12 imams never, ever give any personal opinion on any matter. They were only narrating exactly what the Prophet of Islam said or did or accepted. Imam Ja'far as-Sadiq alayhi salam was the Imam who could spread the knowledge of Islam in the best way because of reasons that in his time Bani Umayyah government was declining and Bani Abbas government was starting. So in that weakness of Bani Umayyah and the starting of Bani Abbas, he had the chance to teach. Otherwise, other imams did not have the chance to teach. Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam stayed at home 25 years. He was not permitted to give even one speech. He was not permitted to teach people, to give a sermon, because the government of Saqifa was against him and did not allow him. After him, Imam Hassan, then Imam Hussain, and Zawul Abidin alayhi salam. Imam Muhammad al-Baqir started teaching Then the maximum teachings were during the time of Imam Ja'far as-Sadiq alayhi as-salam. Non-Muslims appreciate the role of Imam Ja'far as-Sadiq in promoting knowledge. And as maybe you have heard or not, that there was a big conference held in France, in a university in France, about the contribution of Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq towards the knowledge on this earth. And many non-Muslim scholars and scientists read papers on this subject, and the papers were published in a book in French, then English, then Arabic, then Persian, maybe other languages. You see that the non-Muslim scholars are appreciating the great role of Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq for different fields of knowledge, not only religious knowledge, but also algebra, chemistry, and other fields of knowledge. Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq alayhi salam was the Imam who taught people, and his students became the leading scholars on their time until today. Yes, till today, the students of Imam Ja'far Sadiq alayhi salam have been remembered as leaders in their fields. We say, Assalamu alayka ya Rasulullah, Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah, ya Ja'far ibn Muhammad al-Sadiq alayhi as-salam.
Thank you very much, Sayyidina, for a beautiful introduction. Sayyidina, regarding whether Muslims are allowed to enter Mecca and Medina, does this still stand today, that they are allowed to enter Mecca and Medina to visit the holy mosques of Islam? Or is there still forbidden? Is there something in Islam that non-Muslims cannot enter, for example, Medina or Makkah in today, 21st century?
There is a very well-known Islamic rule among Muslim sects that non-Muslims are not allowed to enter the Haram. Entering Mecca or Medina is conditional that those who enter should believe in the sacredness and the greatness of Mecca and Medina. So I say yes, non-Muslims who don't believe in Allah, the Prophet of Islam, should not enter Mecca and Medina. In Quran also we have got إنما المشركون نجس فلا. You see, mushriks are impure. They should not come near al-Masjid al-Haram. Mecca and Medina are not places for tourism, not a museum. No. Mecca and Medina have got a spiritual importance. أول بيت وضع للناس. And Allah said that it is the first home which was created or established for the whole human beings, all those who believe in it. Allah said, من دخله كان آمنا. Anyone who enters al-Masjid al-Haram, he will be saved. So those who enter Mecca and Medina should be believing in Allah and His Messenger.
Thank you very much indeed, Sayyidina. Sayyidina, can instrumental music how lyrics be considered sinful when it is used for example, studying, working, exercising, or for relaxing purposes? And how can we really know whether such music that has no lyric gets used in a sinful gathering?
The criteria which make the difference in music, according to a majority of our present ulama, great scholars, is this: if the music is this type of music is generally or usually used by sinners in their gatherings, then such music is not permissible for us.
Mhm.
No matter whether it is for studying or exercising or sports or any other reason, if the music is usually used by the sinners at their gatherings, then it will not be permissible for us to listen to it.
Okay, thank you very much indeed, Sayyidina. Sayyidina, what is the intention for the 2 units of prayer that are performed before the obligatory 2 units of Fajr prayer?
The 2 rak'ats, 2 units of prayer, which we perform before the obligatory morning, is called nafila of Fajr, or nafila of morning prayer. As you know that we have got 5 daily obligatory prayers. Morning, the obligatory prayer is 2 rak'at. Dhuhr is 4 rak'at. Asr is 4 rak'at. Maghrib is 3 rak'at. Isha is 4 rak'at. That is the usual number of rak'ats. But those who travel, while traveling, if their stay away is less than 10 days, the prayer of 4 rak'ats becomes 2. It is being shortened into 2, which we call it qasr. So every prayer of the daily obligatory prayers has got nafila. The nafila of morning is 2 rak'ats before the obligatory prayer. Nafila of maghrib is 4 rak'ats, 2, then 2, after performing salat al-maghrib. Nafila of isha is 2 rak'ats in sitting position, after performing salat al-isha. Nafila of dhuhr is 8 rak'at in the form of 2, then 2, then 2, then 2, before performing dhuhr, obligatory salah. Nafila of asr is also same, 8 rak'ats in the form of 2, then 2, then 2, then 2, before performing salat al-asr. So, responding to your question, the 2 rak'ats which we perform before the obligatory morning prayer is called nafila of morning prayer, nafila of salat al-fajr, which is very much recommended. It is one of the most important recommended nafilas during the day and night. Yes, please.
Thank you very much, Sayyidina. Sayyidina, if a father passes away, the older son who is unable to perform the salah or the fasts on behalf of the deceased father, can he pay someone to get the prayers and the fasting done? That's the first part. The second part is, can everyone from the brothers and sisters contribute towards paying for missed fasting, or is it obligatory upon the older son?
Number one, the elder son is responsible to perform the qada fasting and qada prayers of his father. He can pay someone to pray. He himself, if he has some reason not to fast or not to pray on behalf of his deceased father, his brothers and sisters can also help him, can pray, but it is not obligatory on them. It is obligatory on the eldest son, either himself or by paying someone to perform qada of fasting and qada of obligatory prayer on behalf of his father.
Thank you very much for the clarification. Sayyidina, is it possible to encounter any prophets in the realm of barzakh, and which specific prophet will we encounter?
Number one, everyone who dies. I am quoting hadith. Of course, we have got many narrations in this subject, but one of the hadiths states clearly that everyone who dies, whether a believer or non-believer, everyone who dies will see the Prophet and his holy progeny. Everyone. The mu'min will see the infallible, and he will get the glad tidings from them. And the non-believer will face the result of his bad deeds. We have got a statement narrated from Amir al-Mu'mineen, Ya Hara Hamdan, من يمت يرني من مؤمن أو منافق قبلا. Anyone who dies, whether a mu'min or munafiq, will see me. Amir al-Mu'mineen is saying it. The mu'min will see the happiness and the glad tidings, and the non-mu'min will see the result of his bad deeds. This is number one. Number two, in the barzakh, mu'mineen will meet one another. Mu'mineen in barzakh will meet one another. We have got hadith from Amir al-Mu'mineen that the mu'mineen in the graves, they gather and they talk among them. So when the mu'min can meet other mu'min in the barzakh, obviously he can also meet some prophets. And that depends on the degree of iman of that person. Yes, please.
Thank you very much indeed. Sayyidina, what can a person do with broken of, for example, sajdagah, and broken pieces of tasbih, that is haqi shifa tasbih, or whether it's plastic or metal type of tasbih? If these are broken in your home somewhere in a pot, what can you do to dispose of them the best way?
You see, haqi shifa, we need to keep the respect of it. We don't throw it in the dustbin. You can put haqi shifa in recycling. with the papers or any recycling material. You should keep the respect of khaki shifa. About tasbih, if tasbih is from khaki shifa, we also should keep that respect. But if tasbih is from plastic or anything which is not from khaki shifa, it is not obligatory to recycle it. But it is always good because you did use it in remembering Allah. You did use it in tasbih, in glorifying Allah, in thanking Allah, in seeking forgiveness, in reciting salawat, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So it is good to respect it. In general, it is not haram to put it in the recycling as far as you keep the respect of it. Yes, please.
Thank you very much, Sayyidina. Sayyidina, is it equally effective to print specific surahs instead of hand them, considering the advantages and recommendations of wearing them on paper?
The greatness and the benefits of writing any surah or any verse is the same, whether it is being written by hand or if it was being printed. As far as the surah is written or the verse is written, it has got the same greatness and same influence, inshallah.
Thank you very much indeed, Sayyidina. Sayyidina, when the Quran ayat regarding the Prophet, whether he passes away or rather he is killed, what does this imply? One of the Quran's ayat that Allah says, would you turn back onto turn back onto religion or away from the religion if the Prophet or he is rather killed? So why are these two terms used in terms of whether the Prophet dies or whether he's killed? Is this indicating that the Prophet was
Arabic wordings of the verse, أَفَإِن مَاتَ أَوْ قُتِلَ. The verse says, وَمَا مُحَمَّدٌ إِلَّا رَسُولٌ خَلَتْ مِنْ قَبْلِهِ الرُّسُلُ. Muhammad is a messenger. Before him, many messengers have come. أَفَإِن مَاتَ أَوْ قُتِلَ. If he dies or killed. In fact, this is the Arabic wording, but in Arabic, when Quran says مَاتَ أَوْ قُتِلَ, أو here is not or. Here, أو means he will be killed, means بل. In Arabic, you would بل. In Quran, this has been mentioned. وَأَرْسَلْنَا إِلَى 100,000 أَوْ يَزِيدُونَ. In Quran, in Surah Al-Safat, Allah mentioned the number of the people for whom Yunus was being sent. Allah said 100,000 or more. Here, or is not or. Here is definitely more.
rather?
In Arabic, I say أو means bel, means definitely. So this verse, according to the authentic hadith, that the Prophet will be killed, and he was being killed by poison. In Sunni books, my respected brother, in Sunni books there is a well-known hadith narrated by Ibn Mas'ud. He said that if I take oath 9 times that the Prophet was being killed, it is better for me than saying one time that the Prophet died a natural death. That is Ibn Mas'ud. And this is narrated in Sunni books. And there is a list of Sunni books who mention that the Prophet of Islam did not die a natural death at all, but he was being killed by poison. Yes, please.
Thank you very much, Syed. Assalamu alaikum. What is the authentic date of the birth and the demise of the Prophet, peace be upon him, progeny? Please guide me.
Okay. In this matter, Sunni narrations are many, and Sunni narrations are contradicting one another. You find in Sunni books different dates of the birth of the Prophet, different dates. And you find also different dates of the demise of the Prophet. Shia books taking from Ahlebait, who are the family of the Prophet. The birth date of the Prophet is 17 Rabi awal. The martyrdom date of the Prophet is 28th of Safar. If you compare between the narrations this side and that side, you will find that the narrations from Ahlul Bayt are very clear, while the narrations from Sunni scholars are contradicting one another. Sunni ulama, some of them have enlisted more than, I can say simply, more than 10 dates of the birth or the demise of the Prophet. Usually, no one knows the birth and demise of anyone more than his own family. That is something understood. The family members, they know more than the outsiders what is the real date of the birth of the person who is from the family or the demise date. We have taken the date from Ahlul Bayt, who know each and everything about the Prophet, while non-Shia Muslims have taken it from outsiders. That's why we trust the narration from Ahlul Bayt that his birth date is 17th Rabi'ul Awal, and his demise, his martyrdom, was 28th of Safar.
Thank you very much for the clarification, Sayyidina. Sayyidina, the prayer for forgiveness of parents, is it only for Thursdays, or you can read it anytime?
Prayer for the forgiveness of the parents is recommended, and it gives the person great reward, and it also helps his parents. In fact, when you pray for your parents, for the forgiveness of your parents will be very happy with you, and they will pray for you. And because of your praying for them, the situation of your parents in the grave will change. We have got a narration that Prophet Isa alayhi salam passed near a grave, and because he was a prophet, he saw or heard the dead person in the grave under punishment. After many years, he passed near the same grave and he saw that the person in that grave is happy and peaceful. He asked Allah, what happened? He was under punishment and now he is happy and peaceful. He was being replied that when he died, he had a lot of sins and he was being punished for his sins. But he had a small child. The child grew up and started doing good and praying for the forgiveness of his father. Allah has forgiven the sins of his father because of the dua of the son. So, son or daughter praying for the parents will help the parents a lot, and also it will help themselves also a lot. This is the fact of praying for the parents. Now, the namaz for the forgiveness of parents can be performed anytime, day or night, and any day, not necessarily specific day, any day and any time. And
Thank you very much.
it is just simple 2 rakat namaz, like morning prayer with the intention namaz for the forgiveness of the parent.
Thank you very much indeed, Sayyidina. Sayyidina, Assalamu alaikum. Sayyidina, can you guide me? When did the Najaf to Karbala Arba'in walk start? Who laid its foundation?
Jabir bin Abdullah al-Ansari came from Medina to Karbala walking. And he arrived after 40 days from the martyrdom of Imam Hussain. Same time when Imam Zayn al-Abidin alayhi salam and Lady Zainab alayhi salam and other family members of Imam Hussain alayhi salam arrived at Karbala. So walking for ziyarat of Imam Hussain started immediately after his martyrdom. But the tyrant governments were against the ziyarat. Bani Umayyah, Bani Abbas, Bani Abbas, who are supposed to be cousin brothers of Ahlebait, because their grandfather is Al-Abbas, who was one of the uncles of the Prophet. Bani Umayyah did not break the shrine, the grave of Imam Hussain. But Bani Abbas did break it. Harun al-Rashid from Bani Abbas broke the grave of Imam Hussain to stop people going for ziyarat. Then Al-Mutawakkil, who was an enemy of Ahlul Bayt, like his other family members from Bani Abbas, he broke the grave of Imam Hussain alayhi salam twice. They used to kill the Zawars. Then they sometimes had a rule: any people going for ziyarat, out of every 4, 1 should be killed. And mu'mineen did not stop going for ziyarat. They put also a rule that anyone goes for ziyarat, and if he is caught on the way for ziyarat, his hand should be cut. They used to cut the right hand. And mu'min used to go for ziyarat and give their hands happily to be cut, chopped, but they go for ziyarat. And we have got in the history that many mu'mineen were caught and they had to give their hands for chopping, to be chopped. They gave left hand. The people of the government, they said no, right hand. They showed their right hand. It was already chopped in the previous ziyarats. Imagine. This is some of the history of ziyarat. Ziyarat of Hussain alayhi salam for the 14, about 14, and from immediately after 61 Hijrah till now. In fact, it started 61 Hijrah, 40 days after, immediately after the martyrdom. Till today, Mu'mineen did not stop, and Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam in many hadiths emphasized on going for ziyarat, whether traveling or walking, but go for ziyarat. And don't leave ziyarat for any reason. May Allah grant us the great tawfiq of ziyarat, and may Allah protect all the mu'mineen and keep us all with the sincere servants of Imam Hussain alayhi salam. Let me tell you something which happened with me personally. One of the great ulama in Qom, he told me during the government of Saddam, the criminal Saddam, who used to kill the Zawar, and he killed thousands and thousands of the lovers of Ahlul Bayt. It might go to more than 1 million or maybe 2 million of the followers of Bayt who were being killed by Saddam and his regime. That great alim told me that I want to go for ziyarat. And I know that if they catch me, they will kill me. If they kill me after ziyarat, I don't mind. I will go. And I'm ready to be killed. But I'm afraid that they might catch me and kill me before ziyarat. I want to go and perform ziyarat, then let them kill me after ziyarat. Imagine, what a great alim in Qom. That is because what we have from Ahlul Bayt alayhim as-salam. There is a very important book in this regard called Kamil az-Ziyarat. Kamil az-Ziyarat. This book has got plenty of authentic narrations about the greatness and details of ziyarat of the Prophet and Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, and specifically ziyarat of Imam Hussain alayhi salam.
Thank you very much, Syed. Now we have just 1 minute remaining of the show this evening, Syed. Now, if we can finish off with wise words, please.
After spending more than 2 months in Azadari, Muharram and Safar, let us keep the nur of Azadari. Azadari is not only outer behavior, it is not a practice of culture. No, it is worshipping. It is obedience of Allah. It is dedication to the orders of Allah. It is allegiance and confirming the allegiance for the Prophet and Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. So let us keep the light of Azadari which we got in our salah, in our behavior, and our dealing with our family members, in our dealing with outsiders and relatives, and most importantly with our parents. The Azadari should promote ourselves. We should be better human beings with more dedication, with more sincerity, with more spirituality, with more purity. That will make us more near to Imam Hussain, Salamullahi alayhi. And don't forget to recite Ziyarat of Ashura every day. If you want the blessings in dunya and akhirat, two things. Don't forget, at night, namaz al-shab, night prayer, and daytime or nighttime as well, anytime, ziyarat Ashura. These two things are the two keys for best of dunya and best of akhirat. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم.
Thank you very much. And with those beautiful words of our Islamic scholar,